pandemic, advocacy cannot stop.
Yeah!
I also want to acknowledge Womankind, who our agency works very closely with when we're talking about gender-based harassment and other issues as well. We work very closely with one another. And also Homecrest Community Services that we work very closely together. Actually, with Homecrest, we are doing a programming in response to this incident. We're doing a programming called a bystander intervention training, so that you know, when you see someone being treated less well, being harassed because of who they are and how they identify, what do you do? How do you interrupt and intervene in that moment? Because it can be scary to do so. So it's important for us to equip one another to know what to do. Now, let me tell you about the Commission on Human Rights. We're a city agency tasked with upholding the city's human rights law, which is an anti-discrimination law. It basically
Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? Listen, we in Washington Square Park right now. Put together a rally. This is our rallying point right here. If you're in the area, pop out. If not, stay on the live. We'll be going live for a little bit so y'all can see what's going on, all right?
Public accommodation, like a place like a park, or when you're trying to get a lift. Not when you're walking down the street and someone else wants to say an anti-Asian slur or an anti-black slur. That is not acceptable here in New York City. Now look, the fact of the matter is, I say it's not acceptable, but it happens. So we need to continue to combat all forms of hate. What have we done? We noticed that in the beginning, when the pandemic first hit, not just New York City, when people were talking about it, you know, across the globe, before the first known case in New York City, we saw a rise in anti-Asian stigma. We saw how businesses were being impacted. We began to do community work. We began to host different forums. We began to put out videos in language so that people, no matter who you are, no matter what language you speak in, you know how to report to us, because you should not go to a place to report and be turned away or not have the proper services. Yeah. So we wanted to make sure we were accessible to you all, to everybody, all New Yorkers. We also, once we went, you know, everyone started teleworking and people there was a statewide pause. We began to do reporting town halls, working with our sister agencies, so people understood that when there's a bias incident, when there's a hate crime, who do you report to? When do you come to the Commission on Human Rights?
Whoever ordered the shirt will be sending it out tomorrow,
What
Monday.
happens when it reaches the district attorney's office? We wanted you to know the people who are working on these matters, and we did them in a number of languages, because it's not just important to have the information out there, but the information needs to be accessible. We also put out a campaign talking about COVID-19 related stigma. Because that person who is a frontline worker or a healthcare worker is being told that, you know, maybe you can't live in this apartment anymore because you're more likely to, you know, have COVID or contract it, so you can't live here. That's not acceptable. Or a person who's walking down the street because they're perceived, or they may actually be Asian, someone comes and harasses them, someone threatens them and attacks them just because of who they are. Can you change who you are? No. Can I change who I am? No. So people just need to accept it, and we need to embrace one another, and we should not be attacked for those reasons. And so we did a campaign addressing some of these issues, because the sharp increase of anti-Asian stigma that we've seen, and it is a sharp increase when we look at the beginning of last year, January, to the end of July of last year, to the beginning of this year and the end of July of this year, the numbers are drastic when we look at the amount of bias incidents that are anti-Asian that have been reported to our agency. They are drastic, they are alarming, and the worst part is, I believe that it's probably more because some people are afraid to report because there's a disconnect with government sometimes, and some people are afraid to report because they hear stories of at times when people are turned away. Well, I want you to know that at the Commission on Human Rights, you have a friend in all of us. I'm grateful to also be joined by my colleague Flora, who's here. Flora, if you don't mind raising your hand. And Flora has been on the front line. She has been working with every community leader, every organization that you can think of from the very beginning, since January, ensuring that we are working with all communities, that Asian Americans, that Pacific Islander Americans know, all New Yorkers know, that if you are being attacked, if you are being treated less well, you have an ally in this city agency. You can call us. We are here for you. It is unacceptable that we are in this moment right now. It's unacceptable that we're gathered in a park in the middle of a pandemic because someone is being attacked. This should not be the case in America, and it definitely should not be the case in New York City. So there's a lot more work to be done. There's a lot more work to be done, and we acknowledge that. And while we cannot change, I cannot change what has occurred, outplace, bias taking place, hate that's being manifested, reach out to our agency. You can call 311 or ask for human rights, or, since we know how that goes sometimes, you can call 212-416-0197. That's 212-416-0197. We're on every social media platform. You can reach out to us. My name is Frank Joseph. This is a very, very somber moment. It saddens me that we have to be here under these conditions, but I believe that there will be a day that we will be here and the conditions will be different. We will be here because there will be a harmonious unity in this city. And no matter who you are, whether you're black or white or Asian, whether you're LGBTQI or not LGBTQI, whether you are an older adult or a youth, that we can come together and there will be respect no matter what. And until that day, we will continue to fight for you all, for all New Yorkers. Thank you very much.
Give it up one more time for Frank Joseph. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
Let's fucking go. China Mac, talk your talk.
How you doing, guys? And girls, because there's a lot of women here. I don't know, man. So after the last rally, you know, I was getting messages and I was hearing people talk about, try to discredit what we're trying to do. And it really, usually things don't bother me. I have really tough skin. But it really bothered me to see so many people not able to look past my past and what I did in my past when I was younger, right? And for people not to accept me for who I am and instead focus on the things I did in the past or the or the lifestyle that others may disagree with, and really look at, you know, all the things, all the bad things about me and not focus on the good things that we're trying to do here. And I'm not here, by no means did I start this because of what others may think of me or what I wanted people to think of me or having people gain people's attention. I really don't care about that. What really prompted me to start this is because I saw an 89-year-old woman being attacked and set on fire, and it spoke to my heart. It spoke to my heart, it spoke to my soul. It made me angry, it made me upset, and I wouldn't be a man. I would not consider myself a man. I would not be able to go to sleep at night if I did not use my platform to fight. And I don't care if I lose followers, I don't care if I lose whatever. I don't care if I lose anything. I don't give a fuck about that. What I care about is using my platform to fight for somebody, for my people, because I know if that was my grandmother, I know if that was my mother, or I know when I turn 89 years old, if that was me, I would want somebody to stand up and fight for me. Yeah. I've been in situations where I felt helpless. I've been in situations where I screamed for help, where I just wish somebody had some heart to help me. To somebody realize that, hey, I did some fucked up shit, but I'm a good person at heart. Please help me. And I could see that. I could see that. So when I saw George Floyd being killed on the street. I didn't see a black man getting killed on the street. I saw a human being. I saw somebody that could have been myself. So I fought for that. And when I seen an 89-year-old woman that got burnt, that got attacked, I saw that as, that was crazy to me. That's not even a act of, like, a human can't commit something like that. And for me to see something like that, and for that woman to be Chinese, and for that woman to speak the same language that my grandmother talks to me, it hurt me to my soul. And I thank everybody for coming out here today. But I'm not gonna front. I'm disappointed. Because this whole fucking park is supposed to be filled up. This whole park is supposed to be filled up. I thank everybody that took time out of their day. And with COVID happening, I thank everybody for coming out and risking, you know, a chance of you getting sick to fight for something. But I want to let everybody know at home that's watching in Instagram and Twitter, wherever you're watching from, some things are worth fighting for. Some things, some things are worth jeopardizing your own self for. And I encourage everybody, next time we have another rally, I encourage everybody here, get everybody that you know to come. And have them get everybody, because everybody has a grandmother. And listen to what I'm saying, Asian Americans. I'm not talking for Chinese, I'm not talking for anybody. Asian Americans, we are looked at as docile. We are looked at as pushovers. This morning I woke up and I saw a woman getting pushed into a river by some teenagers. Wow. And that infuriated me. That infuriated me. And it should infuriate every last one of you. Everybody watching home, if you have a mother, if you have a father, if you have a grandmother, this shit should infuriate all of y'all. Why the fuck are you not out here? Why are you not out here? We need you out here. We need you out here. I can't do this shit myself. I put everything that I had on my agenda on pause, and this is what I'm fighting for. I don't care what happens. This is what I'm fighting for now. It doesn't matter what I had planned. It doesn't matter what I had going on. This is what I'm fighting for now. I'm gonna put 100% in this, and I ask all of you, we need y'all to do the same. They will not respect us until we fight. For a lot of y'all, I was in jail before. I started juvenile system when I was 8 years old, right? And when I went into that system, I was a young kid. I was a kid, and I was raised by my mother in a Chinese household. We was insular. They never let me go outside. I really didn't know any other culture. All I knew was Chinese, was what my mother taught me. So when I went into these places, I was getting picked on every day. I was the only Chinese person there. I was the only Asian face there. And I had to, I allowed myself to get picked on. I allowed myself to be taken advantage of. I allowed my snacks to be taken from me. I allowed my clothes to be taken from me. I allowed my dinner to be taken from me. Then one day I woke up and I had toothpaste all over my hair. I had piss in my shoes. And when I stepped into them shoes, I said, what the fuck? And I started crying. And I walked into the office where the staff was, and I told him, hey, I'm being picked on. You know what he told me? He said, the only thing that will ever get you respect is if you fight. Is if you fight. You have to fight, or they will not respect you. So this is the same thing out here. They will not respect us. They will keep on attacking us. They will keep on attacking our grandmothers, our children. Everybody will keep on, we'll just look at it like it's okay to do that to us because we ain't gonna do shit about it. And I don't think that's true. And this is what this is what this means to me. I want to encourage you, everybody here. I want to encourage all the brothers and sisters watching this all over the world. We need you guys to fight. The days of us allowing people to push us over should be over. The days of us allowing our women to be attacked, our grandmothers to be attacked, allowing our children to be bullied and telling them, hey, just no problems, no. Those days should be over. We tell our kids, you fight. You fight. If we don't fight, they're gonna keep on doing this to us. They're gonna keep on pushing us. And I hate to see this. I hate to look at this shit and see my people being pushed over. I hate that. When I was in prison, every Asian person that came in, I stood for them. Whether they agree with, whether they like my lifestyle or not, whether they agreed with how I carry myself or not. Because a lot of them thought that I wasn't even Chinese. A lot of them thought that I was more black than anything. But fuck that. I'm Asian. And I'm willing to fight for my people. And I hope that you guys are willing to fight for our people too. They can't burn us all.
They can't burn us all.
Listen, when we do these chants, y'all got, there's not a lot of us. There are not a lot of us. We need to lose our voices today, okay? We need to lose our voices. So when we say something, y'all got to scream at the top of your lungs so people know that we're fucking serious out here, all right? They can't burn us all.
They can't burn us all.
I love you guys, man. Much love.
Yeah.